Good evening, SRA Nation, and welcome to season number 15. Round number 1, we are back for the summer. We have got one heck of a season coming our way. All eyes will go to the gantry light. Green flag drops and we are racing. That's going to be a very, very good stop.
He's going to edge him.
We've got two generations of Ferraris going side by side.
Goes to the outside. Very late break the outside.
What is going to happen?
What is happening?
Trying to hold on to it. Free abreast for a square.
Alexis looking racy.
He's gonna hold him tight.
Oh my God.
And we're off and away for SRA.
Hello, SRA Nation. Welcome back to Season 16, Division 4, Round 2. It's going to be a lot of fun. I am your host tonight, Trey Morgan. We may or may not see Sig SVG here tonight. He had a family thing he had to go to, and his family decided to show up late. So, you know, family is always the answer, but sometimes it's also the problem. So, you know, there you go. But yeah, so we are here for Division 4 Round 2. We are at Circuit of the Americas. In case anyone didn't know, this is where F1 raced this past week. So if you watch the F1 race, you're going to watch a very similar thing here, just with more cars and better racing. So hopefully less crashes, but I don't have high hopes for tonight. So like I said, last week we were at Silverstone. It was a very, very good race. We had a very close top 3 battle for essentially the entirety of the race. It was a lot of fun, but that week is done. This week we are on to another F1 track, Cota, Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. It's an amazing track. We are in full bright sunshine here today, so these tires will be cooking. Next week we will be at Valencia, which is another fun track, but that is over in Spain. Right now, we're going to worry about this American track. So this track, very long, 3.8 kilometers, essentially. It's a whole bunch of conjumbled corners. So you have really 2 overtaking zones in turn 1 and turn 12. But the main 2 points of the lap that are going to be the hardest for our drivers to really get right are going to be from turns 5 to turns 9. So that's an S's section. Turns 3 through 9 are all basically switchback S's. So it's a whole bunch of interesting fun that our drivers can have. And then after that, we have our long straight from turns 11 to 12. Turn 11 is possible to have overtaking, but not very likely just due to the way that it works. Since it's not as long of a run up to turn 11. Now turn 10 is flat out, so that could help us see the overtaking there, especially in the opening laps, but we'll have to see. And then after turn 12, we get into sector 3, which is one of the more challenging sectors, not because of how fast it is, but because of how slow it is. So turns 13, 15, and 15, as well as turn 12 right before the start of sector 3, are very slow. You have to get down to first or second gear, and you have to be very patient getting on the throttle because they're very tight turns and very hard braking right before them. And then after turn 15, we have the main event of sector 3, which is turns 14 through 18. So in F1, these turns are more or less flat out, but here they aren't. So you actually have to lift for turn 16. Wait, what? Yeah, so turn 16, 17, 18, sorry. Not 14 through 18. Yeah, so turn 16, 17, 18. It's a quad apex corner, so you're essentially going to hit the inside curbs 4 times. But for turn 17, you actually have to lift off before you hit that apex. So it's not quite as easy as just plow your foot into the bottom of the gas pedal. You actually have to have some finesse through the early stages of the corner. And then turns 19 is the only real place where drivers don't have to worry about track cuts, or at least on the inside. So last week at Silverstone, we didn't have too many drive-through penalties. We only had 2. This week, we're probably going to have a lot more. I know that D3 race last night had 9 drive-through penalties for track cutting. And that is mainly due to how ACC has set up the track limits around here, especially through the S's. They're very finicky, is what I'll call them. But we're not going to worry about that yet, at least not till qualifying. And we will go ahead and give a quick look at our team standings. So our driver standings is just the result from last week, and I will touch on that a little bit. But first, for our driver standings, in first place, we have Koval's Heroes, which is a team between Mike Heisner and I don't know if it's Jaroslav or Jaroslav. I'm going to say Jaroslav Koval, but I could be entirely wrong on that. Mike Heisner was our winner from last week, and Jaroslav Koval was our P4 finisher from last week. So they are top spot. Very good job. They're already almost 40 points ahead of the next biggest contender, but we do have a lot more races to come. 7 more, in fact, including today. In second place, we have Venom Red Eye Racing between Hunter Gale and Cesare Pankovic. These two drivers finished 5th and 6th in last week's race. So not quite the same like top 1-4 that Koval's Heroes did, but they still did a very nice job last week. And Hunter Gale was actually the most consistent driver out of all of the drivers in last week's race. So if any of you want to go look at that, on the Sim Racing Alliance page, there is a results tab, and you can go find the results of last week's race. And then you can go to the server that shows sim results. It's basically, it allows us to look at more detailed stuff other than just who won the race and who had the fastest race. And Hunter Gale was actually the most consistent. So I think he has a really good chance here today, especially with how hard this track is, but we'll have to see. In third place, we have Ultramarine Racing between Taylor Johnston and Shane Lewis. They both did a very nice job yesterday. They weren't quite near the top, but they did both do really good. Actually, sorry, Taylor Johnston was P2, so he was up near the top. But his teammate Shane Lewis was a little bit further down the grid. But in number 4, P4, we have Team Spoon between Mac Morgan and Jeremy Rand. Mac Morgan was our pole sitter last week. Finished 3rd overall. Still a very nice result. And then Jeremy Rand, his teammate. And then P5, we have Sub-Zero Motorsport between Divam Galindo and Brett Swift. And then we have TC8 Racing, or TC8 Racing Team DD between Diego Hernandez and Dario Ferrer. In P7, we have BJ's Racing between Josh Parker and Brad Garman. I assume BJ's is supposed to be Brad and Josh, but I could be wrong. In P8, we have Webheads Racing between Daniel Beckstead and Corey Colt. P9, we have No Time to Practice between Corey Mummery and Rodrigo Moreno. However, with them being in the top 10 in the driver's standings, I do think they had time to practice, or at least a little bit, hopefully. And then in P10, we have the Chimichanga Cartel between Sean Paul and Sebastian Rock. Sean Paul is one of our other commentators. He's commentating D5 every single week, so make sure you go check him out if you want to see more racing content. And I love Sean Paul. He was great in the booth, and hopefully he will be great here today. And then just to go back down the order, we have Midpack Mafia with Glenn Jacobs and Mike Cook. Aviary Motorsports with Emil Garcia, who is our first solo driver. We don't have too many of those. And then we have Don't Mind or Matter, Nathan Cryer and Aku Namatata. And then in P14, we have Black Dog Racing between Ty Jackson and Stefan Pellerin. P15, we have Technologia between Tony Zygmunt and Walter Giovagnoli. I got that right last week. It's going to be a little bit more to get it right again this week. And then in P16, we have We Go Now between Alan Luang and Chris Meck. In P17, we have Dan Meyer and Andy Honenberger, sorry. Then P18, we have our next solo team in Sergio Lindo. P19, we have Razal Hoonigans Racing between Mark DC and Brian Acombe. P20, we have Castle and Cauldron Esports between Stefan Buckley and Andrew Dwang-Bonglio. Stefan Buckley runs the Castle and Cauldron group who sponsors us here at SRA, and they do an amazing job with a bunch of stuff. I would highly suggest checking them out. P21 is McLaren Marvels between Ian Gilchrist and Dan Thibodeau. P22 is JP May in Only Bad Datsun Allowed. P23 is Asphalt Monkeys with Havit Garzozi. P24 is the Zoom Corps with Jordan Danner. And then our last team with points is Rev Match Racing with Ben Borrell and RD Thompson. So that is our total lineup for right now. And thankfully, we are now able to look at the track here in just a moment. There we go. So yeah, our silver drivers have just now gotten out onto the track. The first driver out is Hernandez. Give me a second, I will find out I will remember his first name, Diego Hernandez. In a black and red Ferrari. And a very nice looking Ferrari at that. So we are going to have to wait for them to finish their out laps to get to the start-finish line so that they can do their laps. Let's see if we can figure out what this livery is. Looks just like a very nice overall black and red livery. For those of you who don't know, who missed either the announcement or the livery reveal stream, this season's theme for liveries is superheroes or comic books. So most of the liveries that we're going to see here today are based off of comic books or superheroes or something like that. That could be anything from Batman to Spider-Man to Superman, although I don't think we have any Superman liveries here in this league. And then I know that there's a farmer livery at some point, but I don't know who that is. But we're not going to worry about that for right now. We're going to watch Diego Hernandez as he does our first flying lap of today, our round 2. It's going to be fun. So Cota is one of those tracks that most people hate in ACC. Part of it is because of this, how it's basically just a whole bunch of switchbacks, especially Sector 1. So if you mess up one part, the entire rest of the lap is done. There's not really many places where you can kind of reset and go through the rest of the lap and not have to worry about anything. But the other reason is for track limits. So especially during qualifying, this is going to be a lot harder for these drivers. But through the S's of Sector 1, if you go off track at all, even just the tiniest bit, then you will invalidate your lap. Like here specifically, if through turn, I believe that was 9. So yeah, we just went through turn 10, but through turn 9, on the exit of turn 9, if you touch the outside curb with your left side wheels at all, then it is almost guaranteed a track cut. And during the race, it's one of your track cut warnings. So you only get 3 warnings before you have a drive-through penalty. So you do have to worry about that during the race. Like I said, last night, D3 had 9 track cut penalties that turned into drive-through penalties. And this is not one of the shorter pit lanes for tonight that we will see this week or this season. So we do want to avoid those drive-throughs. You always want to avoid them, but especially this track is what I'd say. But Diego Hernandez is currently going through the last sector. Going through what some SRA members have called the Gravitron, and he goes wide there by a good shot. So that's one of those places where I was talking about where you have to be a lot more finagly than you would think. Just, you can't plant your foot in the throttle. And so he has, I believe, invalidated that lap. But we will still let him finish it out, and we will see if he moves up anywhere. And he comes across the finish line, and he does not set a lap time. So he did, in fact, invalidate. But we are going to have some drivers setting lap times soon, hopefully. I would hope, anyways. And we do have a couple. So Luang has set an initial lap time of a 2:11, and then Corey Colt with our current fastest time of a 2:09.1. So a very nice job there, but these are banker laps, because most of the times that we were expecting to see fast-wise anyways are going to be the 208s, 207s, with Jackson sitting at 208.1. So that's a really good banker lap for our silver drivers. But we will have to see where it all ends out. We're going to go ahead and watch him as he continues along this lap. And then while we are doing that, I will quickly look at our leaderboards to see who did the fastest laps overall. So for our silver drivers, Corey Colt is our fastest driver in the practice times. His fastest time was a 2:07.855. So we are expecting, at least for our silver drivers, them to be a little faster by at least 0.3 of a second. But Jackson here, Jackson is just off his PB, so his current lap time of 2:08.1 is only 1/10 away from his best that he ever did on the practice servers. So I think he has a lot more time that he might not have found in the previous, or in the practice. And he does. He's currently up by about 1/10 of a second, so he can get us down maybe into the 2:07s here right away. He has lost some of that time down the straight, but he will have more time that he can find through Gravitron here. So yeah, you can hear him lift off a little bit through there, and then hopefully all the way onto the throttle through the second bit, and then through the penultimate corner. He is currently right at his lap time for his last lap. So if he can get a good exit through the final corner, he lost a little bit on the apex, but he does improve by a good amount to go to 2:07.757. So very nice job there. He found 4/10 essentially in that last corner to set a personal best, sorry. Now, there was a yellow flag for Mech here. So yeah, snap of oversteer through the S's. And you could also see, I think he unfortunately invalidated his lap too. I could be wrong on that though. Danner has also had a yellow flag incident. So this is through turn 1. So yeah, he misses the apex a little bit, just goes out wide, tries to go over those sausage curbs, which is not a good idea, especially in the Ferrari. Goes hippity-hoppeting all the way down the track and decides to return to the pits. He does have time, or he would have had time to go out for another lap, but I don't think he does anymore. So we're going to be looking now for our biggest improvers, and right now that is Ferrer here in the number 122 Ferrari. He had a best time of a 2:09.2, but he's almost a second up on his previous best time, about 7/10 now. So he's losing time here through Gravitron, at least he did through the entry, but he's gaining time on exit. And so now he just has 2 more corners where he can find more time. And he is finding a little more time. He was up at around 8/10, currently back down to around 7/10 up on his best time, but that is good for a 2:08.6. So a very nice job. That gets him up to provisional second, just above Corey Colt, who now goes right past him with a very similar time. So Corey Colt did a 2:08.58, and Ferrer did a 2:08.61. So they're about 0.3 off of each other. So very nice job. Jeremy ran with a yellow flag moment. Not sure if he spun off or was just letting a different car go. Yeah, so he spun off. Oh, he hit the wall. And that will not quite ruin his chances for a good lap for this next one, but because he does have a chance to get a good lap, but it will make it a lot harder. Meanwhile, Buckley over a second up on his best time, as long as he can hold it through this final corner, and he does. He goes up to provisional pole position with a 207.63, so an amazing job there. There was a yellow flag moment for Luang. This is through turn 9. And he must have invalidated because he is off there now. We are having other yellow flag moments for a couple other drivers, but I believe it's just because they're finishing their lap. Our two biggest movers right now, our improvers are Colt and Jackson. So I believe Colt will finish his lap first, so we're going to follow him. He's currently about 4/10 up on his previous lap, with not that too many corners to go. He's not really on pace for pole, but he is on pace to improve his position. So if anyone behind him really starts improving, or especially against the goal drivers, depending on how well they do, he will improve his possible position. Still about 3/10 up, but gaining time there through the third to last corner. Now through the penultimate corner, he gets a really nice exit, gains a 10th, 2/10 actually. And now it all depends on if he can hold it together through his final corner. He hits that apex really nicely, and he will improve by around half a second to a 2:08.1. So not improving his position, but he does improve his time. Jackson, though, not that far behind him, is up by half a second. That will take provisional pole with a 2:07.2. So an amazing job by him there to get our silver pole position. Ian Gilchrist is going to come across the line. He's improved by about 3/10 of a second to finish P9 there with a 2:09.9. And that is our silver drivers done, I believe. Well, now it is. Now the Garcia is finished. So yeah, that is your silver overall positions. So very nice job by Jackson to get that 2:07.2. Very nice job there. And we will now move to our gold drivers, if I can figure out who is first in line. I believe that is Hunter Gale, and it is. All right. Now this time we're going to go on board for our first lap here. So he's now getting through that final corner to set up for his first flying lap. Now, if you do see the yellow flags there on the right side, don't worry. That is just our drivers lining up. We try to make sure that our drivers don't form big gaps between each other until the last sector, just so that they don't run into each other. Hunter Gale with a very nice job there through turn 1. You hear the wheels squealing just a little bit, but that's just how the Porsche runs. And now we're going to be going through the S's, and this is the hardest point to get right consistently, I'll say. Especially since it's constant back and forth and back and forth. But a very nice job there through sector 1. He goes a little bit wide there for turn 7, but a very nice job slowing down there for turn 8, and you can hear him lift off just a little bit through turn 9, just to make sure he doesn't go wide there. Especially for a banker lap, that's probably a good idea. But now we are down to turn 11, the second hard braking zone for the lap. And it's a really hard braking zone, not only because obviously you brake hard, but also you're setting up the longest straight on the track and the best overtaking zone on the track. So you need to have that corner down so that either you can make sure that you don't get overtaken, or so that you can overtake someone, but that's during the race. It's not quite as crucial in hot lapping or qualifying like we are now, but it is something that our drivers will have to be very good at. We are now into the dungeon of Sector 3 with all these slow corners, hard braking corners, but not really overtaking corners. But Hunter Gale doing a nice job there through these corners, and now we're into Gravitron. And you can hear him lift off there before he hits that second apex so that he makes sure he doesn't swing out wide. And then here we have the penultimate corner. Turn 19 is a really corner that you can take so much inside curb it feels like it's like you're cheating, but you're not. I can promise you that. And then the last corner there, he does a very nice job not bouncing over in the curbs, and he goes to second position with a 207.26, only 400ths away from pole position. So a very nice job there. Mike Heisner is about a second off of them with a 208.5, but again, that's just a banker lap, so no worries there. Shane Lewis and I believe it's Sergio Lindo, both with 209 almost ones. And then Johnston with an amazing job there to set a 208 flat, a 208.6 or 208.06. And now we just wait to see who is improving the most. So Hunter Gale is improving a little bit, but we're gonna go with Brad Garman for the moment because he's 4/10 up through the first corner, which to me means that he didn't have his tires warmed up at all for that first corner, or for that first lap. And he's got a very nice livery there, accenting all of his body panels, so it really looks like some of those cartoons where you really can't tell, like you can only see stuff via shading. Very nice livery overall. And I love that light blue color. If you're trying to woo me over with colors, a good light blue, nicely done with good accents like he did here, that's probably one of the best ways to do it. But either way, he's about 6/10 up on his current lap. Not improved too much since his first lap, so we're gonna go ahead and move over to Heisner, who's just going through sector 3. He's about 7/10 up on his best lap. Not really a challenger for pole this lap probably, but he could be in the next couple laps as he continues to find these improvements. So still going through that penultimate corner. He does go over the serrated edge curves there, but he does not invalidate. He misses the apex of the last corner, but he's still about a 2nd and a 10th up, and that will put him into provisional P3. So a very nice job there. Our next big improver that's toward the front is Johnston. He's about a 2nd up as well, and that does put him in position to get poles. Mac Morgan jumps to the pole with a 207 flat, and Johnston only jumps up to P4, so Mac Morgan is our new pole sitter. Remember, he was our pole sitter last week. The only reason that he really lost was an 8-second longer pit stop than his top 2 contenders that he was with up there in the top, fighting for that win. So Mac Morgan possibly looking at another win here. I'm not at all a homer for him. No one in the chat make fun of me for that. But yeah, so an amazing lap there by him. Hunter Gale is up by about 5/10 of a second, so about half a second right now. That would clear Mac Morgan's pole time by about 3/10 of a second. So it does seem like we're going to get into the 206s. The other big mover was Josh Parker, but Josh Parker seems to have spun. We're going to go ahead and watch this on the helicam as he comes up to turn 1. And I believe, yeah, so he lost it there. Probably going a little too fast, tried to start braking maybe a little too late. So yeah, unfortunately he does spin out. He will have time to get around for another lap as long as he can cool down his tires though. But we're going to go ahead and watch Hunter Gale here as he finishes his lap. He's about 6/10 up on his last lap. That would put him into the 206.8s. Roughly around there, as long as he can hold it together for these last couple laps. He's 7/10 up now. That would put him into pole by a very good margin. And he does go to pole by almost half a second. So Hunter Gale, an amazing job there on that qualifying lap. And he does have time for one more. So we will have to wait and see how long it takes for him to get around. Yeah, he's currently still improving on his best lap. Not by much, only about a 10th, but he does have a lot more time to go. Mac Morgan just now starting a new lap here with about 50 seconds to go. He will have time to do finish this lap. Looking at our other improvers, Swift here is improving by about 0.8 of a second. Now that doesn't put him in contention for pole, but that will move him up by a good amount, probably 6 or 7 spots. Of course, he lost about 0.3 there as soon as I looked at him, but he still does have a lot of time he can gain here. Very clean through the exit of turn 18. Turn 19, he's losing about a 1/10 here to turn 20, so he can gain some of it back here, as long as he gets a good exit. And he does not, so yeah, that's about the same lap time as he got last time, and we have finished this qualifying session, so any driver not currently on a lap cannot start a new one. Currently, Hunter Gale is up by about 0.3 of a second on his best lap, but that doesn't really matter. There's no one really in contention to overtake him for pole position. Mac Morgan was sort of improving. He was about a 0.5 up on his best lap, but he might have had an incident and just decided to pit. And he comes across the line with a 2:06.3. Very nice job there. He's 0.7 clear of anyone else. So definitely, I would say our pole position, the guy I would most expect to get pole position. Johnston, I don't know if he jumped up to P4, he was already there, but still an amazing job there. Our biggest improver right now is Moreno here in that McLaren. He's about 0.6 up on his previous lap. That would jump him to around the top 10 if he can get there. He is just now entering the last sector. He does have someone right in front of him, but I don't think it will be that big of an issue. Also improving is, I believe it's R.D. Thompson. Oh no, and he just went wide. He was over a second up on his best lap, but he invalidates there, so now he's just going to practice his pit entry. I apologize for the commentator's curse there. Yeah, so Robert Moreno, our last improver. There are a couple drivers also minorly improving. Sebastian Rock here is up by about 0.4 going through the last corner, so he should improve up to around P13, and he goes to P13, but Moreno goes up to P8 with a jump of about 0.8 seconds. So an amazing job by our drivers, but Hunter Gale with an amazing time of 2:06.3, which I think would have put him close to pole in D3 with an amazing time there. We will go ahead and do our grid walk shortly, but right now we are going to hear a word from our sponsors.
A huge thank you to our SRA sponsors and title sponsors for supporting us here at SRA, as well as support from Documise, a modern business solution for product management. Go to documise.com to learn more today. And support from Retro Saga, a North American-based gaming company that provides accessories for your favourite classic systems, including Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, and much more. Enhance your retro gaming experience today at retrosaga.ca. And a big thank you to our affiliates, Track Racer. Experience redefined gaming with Track Racer's high-quality sim rigs and accessories. Use code SRATE at checkout to support us. Armamentario, a toolbox for ACC that will enhance your chance to win. Enjoy a fully customizable and enhanced HUD to change the way you experience ACC. AT3D Sim Shop. Upgrade your sim racing experience today with premium 3D printed accessories featuring precision crafted magnetic shifters, sleek cable management solutions, versatile stream deck mounts, and immersive dashboard displays. Their innovative designs enhance performance and style, elevate every lap with top-tier quality and craftsmanship at at3d.net. Go Setups, premium esports setups for everybody. Use our affiliate link on our Discord and take your drive to the next level. Castle and Cauldron, a home-based crafting business specialising in handmade Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts and Fairy World collectibles. magic wands, potions, mini dioramas, wall decor, costumery, cosplay, and much more. Castle and Cauldron is where crafting meets the magical. Visit facebook.com/Castle Cauldron. And from KP Concepts, your source for custom automotive renderings, graphic design, and printing. We spend countless hours making you look all good for the spectacle. Check out kpconcepts.com for more.
Alright, so we are right back here just at the right time to start pulling away for our formation lap. So we're going to go ahead and do our grid walk here. So in P1 we have Hunter Gale with an amazing lap time. I honestly expect him to, as long as he can pull away here at the start, I do think he will win the race, especially with the consistency that he showed last week. In P2 we have Mac Morgan, our pole sitter from last week. In P3 we have, I'm going to pull up the driver's names, Ty Jackson, so very nice job there to get P3 in silver. And then P4 we have Taylor Johnston. P5 we have Mike Heisner, who was, I believe, our winner from last week. In P6 we have Sergio Lindo. In P7 we have Stefan Buckley. In P8 we have Rodrigo Moreno. In P9 we have Cesare Penkovic. In P10 we have Brad Garman. In P11 we have Corey Colt. In P12 we have Shane Lewis. In P13 we have Josh Parker. In P14 we have Sebastian Rock. In P15 we have Dario Ferrer. In P16 we have Jaroslav Koval. In P17 we have Sean Paul. In P18 we have Alan Luang. In P19 we have Brett Swift. In P20 we have Glenn Jacobs. In P21 we have Corey Mummery. In P22 we have Dan Meyer. In P23 we have Valter Giovagnoli. In P24 we have R.D. Thompson. In P25 we have Nathan Cryer. In P26 we have Stefan Pellerin. I think Stefan Pellerin is having connection issues. Hopefully it's not me. And I think he is, unfortunately, because he just dropped from my board. But yeah, so Nathan Cryer. Then we have Ian Gilchrist. Then Andrew Dwangbanglio. Then Emil Garcia. Then Jordan Danner. Then Tony Zygmunt. Then Mike Cook. And then finally we have Daniel Beckstead. I'm honestly not sure what's happening there with the card glitching in and out. I don't think it's me, as my ping looks okay, but we will have to see. So, anywho, on to the actual race. So Hunter Gale is our pole sitter, Mac Morgan right beside him. Hunter Gale has a really good shot here of holding P1 through turn 1. The Porsche has really nice short term acceleration. It doesn't have great top speed, but has really nice short term acceleration. So he should do a very nice job through the opening lap, through the opening stages. Mac Morgan in the Ferrari will not. The Ferrari just really doesn't have great low speed acceleration, so it will take a long time for him to get there. Hunter Gale is way out of formation. I'm not entirely sure what's happening here. I honestly don't know why he's so far out ahead. He will get a penalty if he's that far out ahead. I'm really hoping it's just a really weird view on my part, but we will have to see. I'm thinking it's a weird line. Or it's not, and Hunter Gale is just that far ahead? No, we have a whole bunch of drive-through penalties already. Ty Jackson, Stefan Buckley, Brad Garman, Glenn Jacobs, Mummery, Giovagnoli are all have drive-through penalties. How many other people do? A lot of people do. There are 2 people in the pit lane already. I'm not, and Josh Parker goes way off there. He does manage to stay straight, thankfully, so he does not have to pit to take on damage or fix damage, I don't think. But we do have a lot of people way out of position, and I'm not sure what went wrong. I don't know if the start just had a whole bunch of things, people out of position. It was really weird with Hunter Gale way out in front of everyone. I'm honestly not sure what happened there. But yeah, so we have like 5 or 6 drive-through penalties right off the bat, unfortunately. And in all that chaos, Johnston got past Mac Morgan. Ty Jackson fell down almost, I think, about 4 or 5 positions. I'm not entirely sure. Mac Morgan is pulling way off to the side. I don't know what's happening. Okay, so the session has restarted. I'm going to assume that means that D4 is restarting the session. I honestly don't know what happened there. So we are restarting the race. That was absolutely crazy. That was the weirdest start I've ever seen, to be honest. I don't know what happened. There are a couple people still not back in their positions. Yes, Jay Queasy, I do agree. That was... It does deserve outrage that we had to restart this race, but also very much deserved. I honestly don't know what's going on, though. Because, yeah, I do agree with Bren Jones that someone must have had terrible ping. I know that Josh Parker's ping right now there in P11 looks absolutely atrocious. All the way up in the red there. Given that everyone else's ping is looking good, I really hope it wasn't me. So... so there's a Peter Parker with 3,000 ping. Unless that's Josh Parker he's talking about. I think that was Josh Parker. But I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, Josh Parker apparently connecting from Mars. So I agree. I can give him a little bit of slack there. But yeah, that was the craziest start I've ever seen. I'm so glad that we're not... Oh my gosh. I don't even know what to say. Like, I know it. I've not seen that before in SRA. Yeah, I'm just gonna hope that this doesn't happen again. So yeah, Josh Parker's ping is now back down in the gutter where it should be, low. That was probably a bad way to say it. It's really his ping is now clear. And going through the list, it looks like everyone else's... Sergio Lindo's ping is through the roof as well. So I'm hoping that that fixes itself. But yeah, that's really interesting. I've not seen that before. Yes, this chat is going off. Mr. Sir, I'm sorry, you definitely deserve one, but we will not be giving it to you. Jay Queasy, if you can find a time machine, you can restart Season 13. You just have to knock yourself out or something before the races so that you can't do your own races. I don't know how that would work. Maybe it'd be a Marvel Avengers thing where they just go between different universes. But, yeah, so DJ Watts, or no, Camille Soto, yeah, some of the drivers do have different positions than they did during the last one. So part of that is, I think, because a couple of people have disconnected. If you saw on the starting grid, there were at least 1 or 2 people who weren't still on the grid. I don't know if they timed out. Noah, I am not going to rerun the ads, but you know what I will do, just to pass a little bit of the time? I'm going to show all the wonderful people who are sponsoring us from our servers. So all these people that you're seeing there on the screen are people who are racing in the server or in SRA that are giving us money to help pay for the servers and helping to pay, well, I would say pay us to stream, but I'm not getting paid to stream. I'm doing this out of the goodness of my own heart. But yeah, so give a big thank you to all those people who are giving us money, as well as the people who gave us money from organizations. I might rerun those people, but later. But for right now, we're going to worry about the warm-up lap again. So we will have to check and see if we have more crazy starting positions there at the beginning. I'm really hoping we don't. It'd be funny if we had more crazy positions, but I highly doubt that we will. Of course not. Hopefully I haven't jinxed us. We'll worry about that later. Jay Queasy, I believe the answer is you have to be a Discord supporter and a SRA website supporter. Like if you boost the server, the Discord server, I think you can get and support the other server. Or yeah, if you support SRA on the website and if you support SRA in Discord via server boost, I think that's how you get the gold star, but I could be wrong. But yeah, so we are getting to the end to Formation Lap 2 Electric Boogaloo. Hopefully we will have less craziness, but it should be interesting. Stephen Lobster, unfortunately I gave all of the money that I would be totally 100% getting for streaming to, I forget if it was Jay Queasy or Jess Osborne who had an injury, so I diverted all my totally real pay to helping fixing him. But these starting positions do look a lot better this time. We actually have Hunter Gale without like a 30 car length gap here at the start, but we're going to watch as they come to the lights. This time, hopefully, we don't have 30 million drive-through penalties at the start. Everyone is looking like they're in the correct position this time. Maybe a couple of people at the back, a little bit out of spot. We do have a lot of people out of line there in between, I believe that's laps or row 6 or whatever. But I think that's just because a couple of people are slow. We are green, though. We are 3 wide already here at the back. And we are still 3 wide, 4 wide now. A little more chaos here through turn 1 than we had at the last start. Oh my gosh, look at that Constantina. But everyone looks to be moving straight through. So no one has gotten yellow flags. I've not seen anyone spin off as I say that. Gosh dang it. So Jackson has spun off there through the S's. I don't know if he spun off. Here we'll get a quick replay. Oh, so just a slight little tap there through the first S. So yeah, really unfortunate there. That's just the lightest tap, but especially through the S's, you have to be really careful with how you go through there. Still, other than that, everyone still looks to be going straight. He did not go all the way to the back, so he still does have a chance to get good points. On the race start, though, Mac Morgan did get Hunter Gale, so Mac Morgan very much appreciating this restart. Sean Paul getting past Corey Mummery there for P16. Meyer getting past R.D. Thompson there for P19. But Thompson is looking to get back at him. That Ferrari does not have good acceleration. And so they are now side by side going into turn 12. Hard on the brakes there. There is a yellow flag for Koval. Koval there sitting backwards in the middle of the turn. Oh no, there's more chaos there. So we're going to pull up a replay here of what happened. See, it just looks like a little tap there from, I don't know who that was. And then there was more chaos after that as people were trying to avoid him. Someone went way up the inside. I'm not entirely sure who that is, but that is a black and red Lamborghini. So very unfortunate there to spin through turn 12 off of a little knock. Looking up front, Mac Morgan has pulled a 2-second gap already to Hunter Gale, so he got around him on the race start. And now he is fighting Ty Johnston for that P2 position. Johnston not close enough to make a braking there to try and overtake him into turn 1. That is one of our 2 really good overtaking zones. At the back, there's another yellow flag for Ian Gilchrist. I will replay this quickly. And I missed it. So I don't know if that was a tap from somebody. If you give me just a second, I can maybe go back a little bit further. And it still wasn't far enough. So at least he held the brakes there. So he did a very good job there to make sure that he wasn't drifting into the way of somebody else. So very thankful for that there. Nathan Cryer has also gotten past R.D. Thompson here. So R.D. Thompson not having the best race start there, unfortunately. He's lost at least 2 positions in these opening laps. Maybe more. Meanwhile, Sean Paul looking up the inside of Leung into turn 11. Not close enough to do anything, especially with those McLaren brakes, but he will have a really good job there going down the long straight. Leung had a very bad exit there to turn 11. He was bunny hopping over those curbs. As long as he's not in the slipstream of Sean Paul, he won't have a chance to overtake him into turn 12. Jacobs right behind Leung, giving him a little bit of a look, but nothing happening up there. R.D. Thompson has now taken back that position from Cryer. So really nice job fighting there. And we have a little bit of a train here between Leung and Nathan Cryer. So a lot of opportunities here for these guys to overtake one another. As we almost see a rear ending there. Corey Mummery almost rear ending Jacobs. I believe that's Jacobs. Yes, Jacobs. He managed to avoid him though. At the back, Koval has gotten past Jerry Rand. Not entirely sure what happened. Mac Morgan now setting the fastest lap of the race with a 2:07.8. Out front, Ty Johnston has fallen back a little bit from Hunter Gale, so this is really where Hunter has to get that consistency down. I talked about in the opening how he was the most consistent driver at Silverstone last week, and he has to continue that, especially if he wants to overtake Mac Morgan. I would not expect him to lose out on positions due to pit stop failures again. Meanwhile, here in the back, Swift has gotten past Shane Lewis there into turn 1. A very nice move there. Unfortunately, we didn't catch all of it, but still a very nice move. Now Shane Lewis looking to fight back through the S's, but it's going to be very hard to follow here through the S's. Not only just because of aero wash, but also because you can't see where you're aiming to put your car. Yeah, he's going now through turn 8, and then the left-hander of turn 9. This is probably where most drivers are going to get a lot of their track cuts. So I believe that was Sean Paul. Yeah, Sean Paul. I don't know if you can see it. Oh no, sorry, I have to cut away from this. Meyer in that John Deere truck or car has got rear-ended. He got rear-ended. No. It looks like he kept it mostly out of the barriers, thankfully. But either way, he lost at least 6 positions from that. So it's not very fun. Meanwhile, on our back straight here, Cryer trying to get past that BMW. He's really close behind him. He might send it up the inside. No, he doesn't. But R.D. Thompson in that BMW was held up slightly by Mummery, trying to not rear end him. And he does not take what I will call the optimal line through there. So definitely more chances for overtaking there. Meanwhile, a little bit further up front, Corey Colts had been about 2 tenths away from Josh Parker, and he's gotten side by side through turn 16, 17, 18. Josh Parker going way deep into that corner to keep his position 8. So very nice job there. I was surprised at how well he was able to take that corner. It looked like he was sliding through it. But he will have to defend down this main straight here. And Corey Colt is right up his rear end there. Not close enough, I don't think, to make an overtake. Josh Parker going way to the inside there to try and cut off the door, but he doesn't make it properly. Josh Parker's gone deep and he's lost 1 position, possibly 2. He's side by side with Swift. Still a little loose. Maybe his rear tires are a little bit cooked, and he completely cuts through one of those S's. So yeah, his rear tires are probably almost definitely cooked. and he has a stop-go 10-second penalty for that cut through the S's. It's really unfortunate. He probably kept it in thinking maybe he would just get a speed token instead of stop-go 10, but the penalties for cutting those S's are absolutely insane, as we see a cone flying there right in the foreshot. So yeah, that will not quite put an end to Josh Parker's race. He can still get a pretty good result, especially with other drivers probably getting drive-through penalties as well for cutting corners, but he has to serve that pretty quickly, unfortunately. And that will put him back a good ways into the field. Now, he will probably have clean air to try and push forward, but I'm not sure how effective that'll be. Meanwhile, here we see Brad Garman making a move on Penkovic. Moved to the inside, thinks that got ahead of him thanks to the slipstream and held those brakes beautifully. So an amazing pass there. R.D. Thompson and Corey Mummery are still fighting here. They are side by side through turn 13. R.D. Thompson getting shoved maybe a little wide. They are no longer side by side, so he will have to fight it probably to sector 1. Meanwhile, up here, Brett Swift trying to get past Josh Parker again. Josh Parker maybe not fighting quite as hard this time. No, he is still fighting. He is maybe... Oh! No! Shane Lewis! Josh Parker trying to get into the pits there, started braking there on the exit of turn 19. Oh, no. Shane Lewis there. Go into the pits, man. Go into the pits. Oh, he's going to have a terrible next lap. He's going to find out very quickly that front damage on that car is not very good. And he might be RTGing? I don't know what's happening here. Oh, yeah. So that's going to be unfortunate for him. That was really bad. Josh Parker is now serving his penalty, but that was a really... I don't know. It was really unfortunate the way he tried to take that. I don't know I don't know how much better he could have done, though, just with this situation. He tried to slow down to get into the pits to take that penalty, and he just wasn't able to, without, unfortunately, hitting someone. Meanwhile, out front, Hunter Gale, he's set a faster lap than Mac Morgan, a 207.6 compared to Mac Morgan's 207.8. Their last laps were almost 0.6 different from each other, with Hunter Gale... 0.4 faster than Hunter Gale. So Hunter Gale trying to reel in Mac Morgan here, and the sooner he can get past Mac Morgan, the better. Those rear tires on that Porsche will not last, as we have Ryan Cryer, or R.D. Thompson and Nathan Cryer going at each other again. R.D. Thompson getting past him, but maybe a little bit too early in the straight. No, he holds it there. Very nice job braking from both of them. I would have expected Cryer to maybe try and move to the inside, but he does not. And so R.D. Thompson will get past him for now, but this battle between these two is not over yet, not by a long shot. We will come back to them once they get back to the main straight. Heisner up here in P5 has gotten right to the back of Buckley, about 0.4 back, as they will now go down the main straight. Heisner, I don't think, is really close enough, especially with maybe, I think he went a little bit over the tire, the rumble strips there. Not entirely sure, though. Meanwhile, Hunter Gale still chasing Mac Morgan out front. But I said we're going to go back to Nathan Cryer and R.D. Thompson once they get to the main straight. They are back to the main straight, and R.D. Thompson is really close there to Corey Mummery. I don't know if Mummery had an incident or if R.D. Thompson's just that much faster. He gets to his rear axle going through turn 1. A little bit of an oversteer moment there through turn 1, but that does not matter. He still gets a very nice exit. He might be able to force side-by-side through the S's, and he wisely does not. So he's going to just take these S's and wait for the better overtaking opportunities between turn 11 and turn 12 on that really long straight there. And we will continue following him through the S's. Actually, no, we won't, because... Ooh, a little bit of a moment there. Andrew Dwong-Bonglio just passed Koval, but I think he's giving the position back, or at least he's going slowly. So I think he may have cut a corner there. And just behind them, Shane Lewis has gotten past Beckstead, so he is trying to do that recovery drive. I'm honestly shocked he hasn't tried to pit to recover that, but it is really early in that race. or in the race. Meanwhile, we had a double pass. Moreno and Zygmunt both got past Danner. Danner trying to fight back, and he does have a long enough straight to do it. So as long as he doesn't have too big of a rear wing, he should be able to at least make Zygmunt think he's going to make a move. I don't know if he actually will. So we're going to go on board here. Not close enough to make a move. Oh, it's a good thing Zygmunt took the very inside line there, because he got very close to getting rear-ended. Up the front, Hunter Gale now within 0.4 of a second of Mac Morgan. Still about 0.4 of a second. This is his best chance probably to overtake Mac Morgan here. If he can get close enough. He's going to do a dummy move to the inside, but the Ferrari has a lot better brakes than the Porsche, so trying to outbrake him is going to be very hard. But right behind them, Heisner and Buckley going side by side. Little bit of contact there. Buckley was ahead going into the corner, but broke way earlier than Heisner. Heisner going a little bit wide there onto those rumble strips that will allow Buckley to stay ahead of him. But we do have a train here between Buckley and Colt, so that's P4 to P8, all within half a second of each other right now. So Corey Colt really trying to get into Penkovic. Brad Garman there in the Lexus went a little bit wide there, or I suppose a little bit not wide there. He loses a position to Penkovic. He will probably lose another position here to Corey Colt on the exit. Ugh. Very nice job there to not run into each other there. So yeah, Brad Garman and Corey Colt now really close. Heisner still really close to Stefan Buckley there at the front of this trainish, but not quite as close as he had been. Hopefully I'm not yelling too loud into everyone's ears. I could be, so I apologize if I am. But Corey Colt really close here. Not close enough, I think, for a dive, especially with that Lexus speed up in front of him. Narrow is probably correct there, Javi. I will let you take that. So yeah, so Corey Colt and Brad Garman really close to each other, and they are essentially the opposites of cars. So the Lexus is really good straight line speed, and that's kind of it. It's okay with acceleration. It's got really terrible brakes, and going through corners is trying to chop wood with a pocket knife. It's just not very easy. But that Ferrari of Corey Colt, really good in turns, really good on the brakes, really bad in straight, not terrible in straight line speed, because it does have good aero efficiency, but it's not what it's known for. And its acceleration is absolutely horrendous just because of the turbo lag out of slow corners. So that will be an interesting fight to see as we continue this race. R.D. Thompson going up the inside of Corey Mummery. He does make that pass, and so does Nathan Cryer. Very nice job. Hernandez, yellow flag moment here through there. I will come back to that in a moment. 44.30. So that's where I need to go back to. But yeah, Nathan Cryer trying to hold off Corey Mummery to get the position back. He does not, so they will go through the S's. Yeah, see if I can remember who spun. I cannot, so he... Nope, it was Hernandez. Oh... I think that was Beckstead going behind him. I don't know if he got hit, but he spun through the exit of that corner. He might have gotten rear-ended, but I won't say that he will, because I did not see it. Meanwhile, back up front, we have this train here back again forming between Buckley and Swift. Hunter Gale is about half a tenth back from Mac Morgan, but it keeps ebbing and flowing, so I'm going to keep an eye on it, and we'll come back to that once it gets good. But speaking of good, Brad Garman in the Lexus on Penkovic. He will have the overspeed in that Lexus. He will not have the brakes, though. Very nice job to not hit Penkovic, but with that compromised line he had to take there for that braking that he wanted to do, it drops him a little bit back. All right, so from Jay Queasy, Hernandez tried to dive down the inside and it did not work. So I will choose to believe Queasy here on that, because why wouldn't you? Meanwhile, a little bit further back, Mike Cook got passed by Danner. Oh, And Mike Cook gets spun, or almost spun. He's still facing the right way. Koval will lose a position in that mayhem. I wasn't sure if Mike Cook turned in on Koval or if Koval sent it up the inside when he really shouldn't have, but Koval is the loser in that. They are still really close to each other, so it's very possible that they could still pass each other. Meanwhile, Hunter Gale and Mac Morgan are going through the S's. I will cut to them once they get to the back straight, but on the front straight, R.D. Thompson has gotten past Glenn Jacobs. He got past him before the braking zone. And then right behind them, Nathan Cryer getting past Corey Mummery. This is a back and forth battle here with Nathan Cryer between Jacobs and Mummery. Almost side by side there, but not quite through the S's. You know, out front, like I said, I would cut to Hunter Gale. He's about 8/10 back from Mac Morgan. So it's possible that we're getting to the point where his tires are just not holding out. Like I said, the Porsche rear tires, because of how you have to drive the car, you have to be really careful to make sure that you're not overdriving the tires quite as much. So I'm not going to say that he's at a disadvantage now to pass Mac Morgan, because he is still, like, in qualifying, he was still 7/10 clear of anyone else. But the longer he waits, the harder it is going to be, as we see someone going wide there. Brad Garman got past Penkovic, and then I believe that was maybe Brett Swift? I'm not sure who that was, but someone went deep there. Looking a little bit further ahead for P5, Heisner is right behind Stefan Buckley. To answer your question for BJ Borrell, R.D. Thompson, I believe, is in 14th. Yes, R.D. Thompson is in 14th currently, so pretty good so far. Heisner looking up the inside there of Buckley. He got the door shut hard on him, though. Had to take a really weird line between turn 19 and 20. But that accident has meant that this is really close between these drivers here. Brad Garman looking up the inside. Not good on the brakes, but it looks like Heisner might have gone a little bit deep. Nope, still looking good there. But we have a lot of drivers here in very close position, so if any of these drivers have any kind of issue, that's going to be really bad, especially if it's Heisner or Buckley. Because if they make contact, then everyone behind him is very likely going to have some kind of damage, unless they do an amazing job moving around. A little bit further back here, Jeremy Rand and Shane Lewis. Shane Lewis really trying to make that recovery drive work. He has just passed Jeremy Rand. He has not fixed his damage. I expect he has almost like 20 seconds of damage at this point. If you look at that front end, it is not fun. I've driven a car that looked like that. I did not realize how bad it was until I looked at it later. Up here in P24, Koval has gotten past Danner, and then Brett Swift. I don't know what happened here, but he lost a whole bunch of positions. He lost 6 or 7 positions. So it looks like he spun. If you give me just a second, I will show a better review on what happened. Or not. I just know that he spun. So unfortunately, that's all we can see. But meanwhile, up toward the front, if you give me just a moment to get out of the replay, Brad Garman has gotten past Heisner, Brad Garman got past Heisner because Buckley had an issue. Like I was talking about, if any of these drivers have issues, it's likely that they lose multiple positions. And Heisner now has gotten past both Garman and Buckley in not even a lap. So very nice job there. I believe that was due to a Buckley issue. Unfortunately, I missed it. Down in P16, Zygmunt and Giovignoli are going back and forth. They had just had it switched back, so they switched once and now they're back to their original positions. This is teammates fighting, it looks like, so very important that they don't run into each other. And then back up here for P5, Brad Garman looking to the outside of Heisner. He does have the overspeed, but he does not have the overall speed as Heisner goes wide. Heisner goes wide. Brad Garman is now back up into 4th position, and Heisner looking to defend from Buckley. He manages to keep him behind, but that is another Lexus right behind him. So like I said, the Lexus is going to be very hard to get correct through the S's, but once you get to a straight, as long as he's close enough behind, it will not matter what your wing is set to. He will overtake you, as long as he's close enough. Toward the back here, Ty Jackson getting overtaken by Diego Hernandez. He also has a lot of front damage. I think that was from the opening lap incident. And then right behind them, Mech getting overtaken by Bexted. And then just behind them, Josh Parker had gotten around Danner, but then wasn't able to hold it on the outside. So instead, we're going to look up here. We are on the back straight. Stefan Buckley. Is this? No, it's not Stefan Buckley. Buckley has gotten past Heisner on that main straight. So like I was talking about, if you get close in a Lexus on a straight, you will have an amazing chance to overtake here. And now that we are 37 minutes into this race, we are very likely looking to see our first pitters for actual pit stops. So the main people that I would see pitting right now, at least the most important ones that I can see pitting, as Shane Lewis gets past Ty Jackson. Battle of the, I don't want to say cripples, but the front end certainly makes it look like it. But yeah, so from Noah Maycomer, you are right. Ty Johnston could get a really nice undercut here if he pits. Speaking of pitting, Mike Heisner first into the pits. So we are going to begin seeing our drivers pit to overtake. So Mike Heisner, especially with the Porsche and the rear tires dying so quickly, he is going to get a massive boost to his speed. We'll have to pay attention to where he comes out in relation to Garmin, Buckley, Colt, and Pankovic, because those guys were all really close together. The other two people, like I said, Ty Johnston can probably get a really good pit job done for an undercut. The other person here is Hunter Gale. So Hunter Gale, right behind Mac Morgan. If he pits after Mac, he really has an issue. He will really run into an issue of he won't have a tire advantage at any points during the ending of the race, and he also won't have a speed advantage for an extra lap, because whoever pits first here will have a really good lap, an out lap compared to the other person's in lap. So yeah, Ty Johnston needs to pit here soon, probably, as does Hunter Gale. Mac Morgan, I expect to pit maybe one lap after Gale or Ty Johnston, although he might pit sooner than them. It's kind of hard to tell. We're right in that window where you probably want to pit, but you don't really want to make the first choice, but you kind of have to. It's a really fun strategic decision. We do have a lot more pitters. Jackson in that damaged McLaren has pit, Danner is pit, Mayer is pit, Koval is pit, and then people out of the pits are Swift and Heisner. So Heisner currently with an 11-second gap to Parker in front, so he has a lot of clean air that he can do. Hunter Gale has now pit, so it's really important here that he gets a good clean stop. Last week we saw Mac Morgan lose the lead of the race because he had a 38-second pit stop in comparison to a 34 and a 32 seconds pit stop. Buckley and Corey Colt are also into pits now, so you're beginning to see that really good opportunity for those people to undercut. Now you will have a slight tire disadvantage at the end of the race, but especially for a track like this, as Glenn Jacobs also comes into the pits, track position is more important than a single lap of tire difference. That is what I will say. So now here, up toward the front, Zygmunt getting very close here to the back of Nathan Cryer. And then right behind them, Moreno also really close to the back end of Giovignoli. These three cars here almost look like they're all teammates, but I think that they might just be using the same custom livery from Assetto Corsa. I could be wrong on that, but that's what I think. Moreno having an unfortunate moment there through the S's. He's lost over about a second of time to Giovignoli ahead of him. That does allow Giovignoli to think about attacking Zygmunt, though. So it will be very interesting to see where, or how the rest of the pit strategies come out at, too. So Mac Morgan, our current leader, is just now about a third of the way through Sector 3. So he's getting close to where his pit stopped. He has the opportunity pit. A little bit up here for P7. R.D. Thompson looking up the inside of Sean Paul. They both make very cleanly. Very nice job there. They're both side by side now through turn 13. Someone apparently got a DSQ through the pit lane, and that was Buckley. No! Buckley, who was one of our leaders, has been disqualified for speeding in the pit lane. Very nice catch there, Jay Queasy. Oh, that sucks. He was doing so good. He was in the top 5. Oh, no. Meanwhile, Mac Morgan is into the pits. We will have to see how good of a pit stop time he has. Hunter Gale is currently about 40 seconds behind him, so it will all depend on how he does for that pit stop. You know, Zygmunt and Giovignoli all really close here. Mac Morgan still not moving. He is getting right to that 30-second mark where he would start moving if he did his pit stop correctly. 32 seconds, 33. Oh, he might have just lost the lead there on that pit stop. Hunter Gale had a 33-second pit stop. Mac Morgan had a 33-second pit stop. So it will really depend on where they come out. I'm going to watch Hunter Gale here. He's coming up the main straight now. Mac Morgan still not to the start. He is now out of the pit lane. Where will Hunter Gale filter out? Mac Morgan right up the inside. He keeps the lead by just a little bit. They are now side by side through the S's. Maybe a little bit of contact there. Mac Morgan will have a massive disadvantage here on cold tires. Very cold tires there coming out of the pit. So as long as he can keep it through the S's, he should be okay to fight for it later in the race. But he has lost it in the pits again. Sorry. Also, there was a yellow flag here for Sebastian Rock. I'm not sure what that was for. So, probably just coming out of the pits. Yeah, so just going really slow. Oh, there was a hit there. And that was Corey Colt that he hit. So yeah, he was trying to just save his position coming out of the pits and not able to, as Corey Colt tried to slam the door, but it didn't work. Meanwhile, just up front, Andrew Dwangbanglio trying to slam the door, and Mike Cook with a move in front of him, but it does not work. Like I was talking about before, the Lexus has a lot better top speed, but the Ferrari has much better brakes. However, Dwangbanglio seems to know they're still side by side, so it's very possible that Mike Cook could still get through, and it looks like he will. They're now side by side going through turns 16 through 18. There we go. And Mike Cook is now ahead of Andrew Dwangbanglio. Very nice job racing cleanly there between those two corners. They gave each other maybe a little bit more room than they had to, but I would prefer a clean race over a whole bunch of argy-bargy. Yeah, so very nice job there between those two. Andrew Dwangbanglio, though, possibly looking for a move up here. We're going to go on board with him as he goes up into turn 1. Not close enough here. There was a brief yellow flag, I think, for Josh Parker. Oh yeah, just a very nasty snap of oversteer there. Managed to hold it together, so very nice job there. Meanwhile, on the main straight, Mac Morgan and Hunter Gale are side by side. Mac Morgan did not make the pass, though. I will quickly pull this up in the replay. So yeah, Mac Morgan doing an amazing job breaking there into turn 1, but he did not get the acceleration. So that was the what I was talking about before with the Porsche having really good short-term acceleration. So out of these corners, Mac Morgan has to get really deep into there to make sure that he's able to get past him. Up here, going towards turn 11, Andrew Dwangbanglio has gotten past Mike Cook again. And he will have the benefit of top speed as Mike Cook goes way deep there. Mike Cook way deep into that corner. And now we are into an interesting area is what I will call it. So Mac Morgan and Hunter Gale are now running into not pitting traffic. I can't call it lapped traffic because they haven't pit yet. They are still entitled to the space ahead of them. So Hunter Gale is going to be held up by a car on worse tires. So it really depends on how quickly Hunter Gale can either pass Hernandez or how quickly Hernandez pits, because this is going to slow up Hunter Gale by a very good bit here. Especially now that Mike Cook is also right there in front of him. So Hernandez and Mike Cook are battling right in front of our two potential leaders. And this will give Mac a really good chance to try and overtake. He's looking to the inside there through Gravitron, doesn't try anything. So it kind of really all depends on how quickly they pit. Mike Cook getting out of the way of both of those cars, and now Hernandez is pitting. So our two provisional leaders, is what I'll call them, our pitted leaders, are now free to fight for the rest of the race, because they now have about a 7-ish second gap ahead of them. Still really close, still anyone's game, but they do have a clean track ahead of them now. So Stefan Buckley said that he disconnected, rejoined, and was DSQ'd. I honestly don't know what happened there, Stefan. I'm sorry that happened, but yeah, that's a disconnect. So I don't know what happened there, but either way, really unfortunate. It's possible that he disconnected right before the pit lane or something like that, but I'm honestly not sure. Meanwhile, looking a little bit toward the back, Shane Lewis is right behind Jeremy Ran. Not really able to find a way through at the moment as he goes wide there, so that will give Jeremy Ran a lot more leeway in terms of how he takes the next couple of corners. Meanwhile, looking up toward the front, Andrew Duong-Bonglio, I think, had an issue. I'm not quite sure, but Hunter Gale has now passed him on track. It's either that or Hunter Gale is just going a lot faster. So yeah, looking at the last couple laps, Andrew Duong-Bonglio's last lap was a 2:12, and Hunter Gale's last lap was a 2:09.9, with max lap being a 2:10.5. And now, talking about other pitters, our other main contender for the win, Ty Johnston, is into the pits. Oh, he might have missed his braking point. I don't know what happened here. No, he's back moving. Never mind. We are all good. We are all good. And now it'll entirely depend on where Hunter Gale and Mac Morgan filter out. Ty Johnston has a long pit lane to go down, and it's a very hard job to keep it in the correct area whenever you're coming out of the pits. He is just now getting to the exit line. Hunter Gale has passed him, and Mac Morgan will also pass him. So same-ish positions as before, with Hunter Gale now in the lead and Ty Johnston about 2 seconds behind Mac Morgan. Mac Morgan now trying to get past Andrew Duong-Bonglio here so that he can begin attacking Hunter Gale again. And Andrew Duong-Bonglio is really going for the long game here. I'm really surprised. I'm not sure if he just wants to go long, as he now lets Mac Morgan by. So yeah, I don't know what specifically is happening. Someone is yellow flagged here. Mike Cook is yellow flagged here through the between turn 10 and 11. Not entirely sure what happened. He's just pulled off to the side. Maybe mechanical issues. Not entirely sure though. Yeah, so now looking to our racers, Mac Morgan is now 2 seconds back from Hunter Gale. He really is going to have a hard time trying to fight back to get that lead back. It probably won't happen until the end of the race, because like I was saying, there's probably going to be a very big tire differential between those two. He goes deep into turn 12 again, and other penalties Zygmunt has a drive-through penalty, so he's, I believe, our first pure drive-through penalty. We did see another penalty for Parker due to a stop-go 30, but nothing else seems to be going on. So, yeah. So Ty Johnston up in the lead right now, or Ty Johnston fighting Duong Bunglio, sorry, to get to P3 in the race. Duong Bunglio may be getting out of the way, and he does. So now it is a straight fight between our top three. Duong Bunglio now going into the pits. A little bit back here, I missed the pass, but Cryer and Jacobs fighting again. Nathan Cryer doing an amazing job there on the brakes against a Ferrari. Not an easy thing to do, especially in a Porsche. So amazing job there. Jay Queasy has said that the yellow flag guy, Mike Cook, apparently hit a mountain. So I'm going to assume that means he hit one of the curbs and decided to stop and try and figure out what in the world was going on. Let's see if this replay is correct. I have no idea what I'm watching now, to be honest. So I will just leave it at that. Yeah, so currently the closest couple battles here are for P8 and P7 and P9. Corey Colt is about a second behind Pankovic to get that P7 position, and then right behind them, RD Thompson fighting with Sebastian Rock to maybe get that P9 position. He is top 10, so you know you always take P10, but you never want to settle for anything. And then a little bit behind them, Swift is fighting with Moreno for P15. Looking back out front again, Mac Morgan, I'm not sure if Mac is having really bad lap times or if Hunter Gale is just having really amazing lap times. But the last lap for Hunter Gale was a 2:07.7 and Mac's last lap was a 2:09.2. So Mac has fallen back a good ways from Hunter Gale, beginning to fall into the category of maybe falling into P3, but not sure. You know, I missed it, but RD Thompson and Sebastian Rock fighting. RD Thompson got past Sebastian Rock. Also, I apologize to RD Thompson. I don't, if you loaded your livery today, I forgot to sync the liveries. So I will blame that on me. So yeah, now Sebastian Rock falling back into the crutches of Ferrer here. Not quite a big worry yet, I don't think. He's not too close behind him, and there's not too much of a difference in meta categories between the Ferrari and McLaren other than the brakes, but the brakes won't help you down a straight. Unless they're locked on, I guess, but I don't think that's the case. See, our last person who is not pit currently is Corey Mummery, and he is putting out 2:11s. So I think he probably needs to pit soon. That would probably put him down around the P20 area, so I really hope he does pit soon, just for his tire's sake. But he is not in danger of the Hunter Gale yet, so very possible he can still pit pretty soon. Meanwhile, here for P14, Jacobs, Moreno, and Swift are all really close together. They're about 4 or 5 tenths away from each other, and they were through the entirety of the S's, which is very good job by all of them. Of course, now it widens up a little bit, but not too much. You know, a little bit ahead of there. Ferrer only 0.2 seconds back. Let's see if I can... There we go. We'll do this one. Yeah, Ferrer right up the inside of Rock. He's not in the slipstream. He is just beating him on pure slipstream, or pure straight speed alone. And he will have him on the brakes here into the corner as long as nothing weird happens. So Sebastian Rock tried to slam the door there on Ferrer. Ferrer probably braking a little bit earlier than he needed to, but clean racing overall, so very nice job there. And our last pitter our last person who is not pit is now pitting. So Corey Mummery into the pits, and it is now a straight fight with these top three between Hunter Gale, Mac Morgan, and Ty Johnston. So very nice job there. Hopefully that camera work looks pretty good. But yeah, so Ty Johnston about a second and a half back from Mac Morgan, who's about 4 seconds back from Hunter Gale. But Ty Johnston does now have the fastest lap of the race of a 2:07.4, so we are well into the qualifying times here now for our racers. And Mac's max lap was a 2:07.7, which is his current fastest lap. It's still about 3 seconds or 3/10 slower than Ty Johnston, but it was faster than Hunter Gale's last lap, which was a 2:08.2. So this front battle is not done yet, not by any stretch. I will keep an eye on it for you. Meanwhile, Sebastian Rock has fallen behind Ferrer. I'm not entirely sure if it was an issue or if it was just a really good pass, but he is now behind Ferrer. Because I thought he'd been fighting with RD Thompson, but I could be wrong. I'll just assume that my memory's wrong on just about everything. So yeah. Let's see. So up here at the front, Ty Johnston is now within a second of Mac Morgan, right at a second. So it is very possible that he will find a way past Mac Morgan here in... We're not quite to the closing stages yet, but we do have only 15 minutes left to go in this session. Moreno getting really close to Jacobs, not doing anything there on the brakes, being very cautious on how he attacks, doesn't want to throw everything to the wind quite yet. So a very nice job there. Ty Johnston now officially within a second. He's set a new fastest lap of a 2:06.9. Oh my word, he's only 4/10 off of Hunter Gale's qualifying time. So he is charging. And if he passes Mac Morgan quickly enough, he will have a chance for the lead. Meanwhile, Moreno looks up the inside, or looks on the outside, I believe, of Jacobs. Doesn't do anything, but that probably was his best chance for at least a little bit. He might have a good opportunity here through the thing. Oh no! So yeah, Jay Queasy pointed out, but Mac Morgan has a drive-through penalty for track limits. So he is I believe our second driver to have a drive-through penalty. And that will not be good news for him, obviously. That's not good news for anyone. But that could probably drop him down to around P10 or so. That's my guess. But yeah, so that drops him out of the contention for the win. It is now a 2-horse race between Hunter Gale and Ty Johnston. Meanwhile, we have a couple tiny little trains here. So Sebastian Rock is leading Nathan Cryer and Andrew, I believe it's Andrew. Well, it's Luang anyways. They're about a second off of each other. Luang fell back a little bit, but still within about a second. A little bit behind them, Glenn Jacobs is leading a 4-car total train between Moreno, Swift, and Paul. We have another drive-through penalty now for, I believe it's Emil Garcia, P19. And I believe he is also leading a small little train here between Hernandez, Duangbanglio, and Zygmunt. But he will have to serve that pretty soon, so maybe not fighting quite as hard here between the other drivers. What am I kidding? Of course he's going to fight. Oh no, there's a yellow flag for Ferrer. I don't know what happened here, so we're going to watch and see what happened. I think it was just a tiny little oversteer moment. Ugh. I don't know what that was. Interesting. Someone's saying that there's another DSQ, possibly, but I believe that's just Stefan Buckley rejoining or staying in there. I'm not entirely sure. Meanwhile, Mac Morgan is out of the pits for his drive-through penalty. He comes out in P5, just ahead of Penkovic. on warm tires, so he won't have the same issue that he had last time. But he is fighting the same livery. So I would like to point that out. I find that kind of funny. So, well, the drivers may have changed, the liveries have not changed in that fight. Meanwhile, Sebastian Rock getting passed by 2 cars in one corner. Luang and Cryer both get past him. I'm going to show a replay of this. So yeah, bad braking there. Lets Cryer through, or Luang through, and then Cryer just gets through just because he had a bad line, I guess. So yeah, very nice job there by those 2 Porsche drivers to get through. So unfortunately for Sebastian Rock, that is a lot of places lost, but Nathan Cryer and Luang are still fighting ahead of him, so it's very possible that he could pick up the pieces of whatever scraps they leave behind him, just like happened to him. And Nathan Cryer is right behind Luang here, so we're going to go on board and listen to that Porsche sing, with I believe a Boxster engine, but it could be a V6. So he's really close here, coming down the straight. He will pop to the outside, have a look of the inside. He gets through on the brakes, but I don't know, and he does hold it, so amazing job. And Mark, no, we are not restarting the race again. I don't want to be here till midnight. Thank you, no thank you. I can only do so much commentating. But yeah, so Nathan Cryer with an amazing move there on the wing. It will be tough to hold, but it's definitely not impossible. Looking back out toward the front, the lap times have really fallen off a cliff. Ty Johnston's best lap was a 2:06.8, but his last lap was a 2:08.4, as Brad Garman has a slight yellow flag moment. I'm going to replay this here. So yeah, I think it was just a slight oversteer moment. Yeah, very big oversteer moment there. So that will bring him into a possible battle with Mac Morgan here. As you can see him at the top of the hill, about a 1.5 seconds back now. So Mac Morgan still with an opportunity to get into the top 4, maybe the top 3. For Nate Comer, I agree that I love Boxster engines. I drive a Subaru, so I kind of have to. But the one thing that I will say that I find very interesting is the Subaru. I don't know about Porsche specifically, but I know that the Subaru Boxster engine is absolutely terrible on oil. It absolutely eats through oil. And that's because it was originally designed as an aircraft engine. So they took an aircraft engine and put it into a car, essentially, is how that turned out. So there's your little bit of Subaru Boxster knowledge. Hopefully you never need to use it. Yeah, I didn't know that Boonstra was like the boogeyman, but apparently she is. So I will not say her name again for the rest of the race, and if anyone in chat sees it, I can't ban you, but I will say that I want to. That's what I'll say. Meanwhile, here we have a very nice battle here between Zygmunt and Parker. Zygmunt looking up the outside but doesn't do anything. A little bit ahead of them, though, Sean Paul lost a spot by a long bit. I'm not sure what happened. Oh, he didn't lose a spot. He just missed his braking point. Okay. So yeah, I saw them pass. I saw that someone had passed him, and I wasn't sure what happened, but that makes sense now. Meanwhile, looking back up to our P10 positions, Luang going up the inside of Nathan Cryer. He will not get he will get a very decent exit, but not good enough, as Nathan Cryer is right up his rear end, and he will have a very nice slipstream as long as he can get out soon enough. He gets out soon enough, but not soon enough to make a pass. So Nathan Cryer will have to fight on for another day, and he will fight on, don't we know it. Meanwhile, Sean Paul sending another one up the outside of Glenn Jacobs, trying to really get him off his line. Doesn't work for a pass there, but if he keeps doing that, it's very possible that Glenn Jacobs makes some kind of mistake. Meanwhile, there's another person with a drive-through penalty, Danner. He's toward the back of the pack, so I don't think it'll be much of an issue there, but I could be wrong. As he is, I don't know if he's fighting with blue flags. I'm not entirely sure what's happening here, but he has a drive-through penalty. That's what I know. Meanwhile, we are now back onto the back straight with Nathan Cryer right behind Luang. This battle has also allowed Sebastian Rock to catch back up to Nathan Cryer. They're about a second away from each other. Not close enough to make a move from Sebastian Rock. Nathan Cryer, I also don't think will be close enough to make a move, but I could be wrong here. And that is correct. He does not have the room to make a move. He does get really close on the brakes, but that's about it. So just for the moment, I'm going to be looking at our biggest movers, just to kind of show who's moved the most. So Ty Johnston and Mike Heisner are both up 2 positions. Brad Garman is up 4 positions. Mac Morgan is our biggest loser in the top on pure racing. He's lost 3 positions. There were a couple other big losers, specifically Jackson, but that was because he got hit. But our 2 best movers so far are Artie Thompson, who is up with 14 positions. He started P22, he's up to 14, so an amazing drive there. And then the other one is Nathan Cryer. He started P23 and is up 12 positions. So an amazing job by these 2 drivers. And then the other couple big movers are closer to the back in Zygmunt and Beckstead. They both moved up 12 positions. But their starting positions are no longer on the grid, so they started P36 and 34. And we only have 34 drivers left in this race. So, but either way, an amazing job with them racing, moving up that far. Okay, now looking to our fights, we have 6 minutes to go here in the race. Artie Thompson looking to get up at least 1 more position. He's getting to the back straight. That Ferrari behind them is a blue flag, so not a concern for getting overtaken. Hopefully anyways. But Artie Thompson will try and overtake Corey Colt here down the back straight. Corey Colt covering that inside line, gonna force Artie Thompson to try the outside line. We have seen the outside line work a lot better than I would have expected this race. Nothing happens there though. I'm not sure what's happening with Farrer's ping, to be honest, but he is moving all over the place now, and I believe he's disconnected. No, he's still here. Never mind. Go, Farrer. Please stop trying to kill the ping. Anywho, back here up at the front, Mac Morgan is 2/10 behind Brad Garman. Mac Morgan trying to fight for that P4 position to gain back just a little bit of his time, of his positions. And then looking up more toward the very front, Johnston is 1.5 seconds back from Hunter Gale. So realistically, we have 3 more laps to go, I think. Maybe 4, but I'm going to assume 3. So Ty Johnston really has to put the hammer down if he wants to get close to him. His last lap was 1.5 seconds faster than Hunter Gale. 209 flat versus a 207.6, so about 1.5 seconds. So definitely not out of the realm of possibility for Hunter Gale to get past, or at least for there to be a fight. And we're not also out of the realm of possibilities for Mac Morgan to pass Brad Garman. Nothing is ever certain. So we're going to keep following this battle. Just behind them, Penkovic is getting into this battle now. Mac Morgan trying to fight with Brad Garman, not finding it easy, especially with the overspeed of the Lexus. So the Lexus really has to have some kind of issue. As Mike Heisner has a yellow flag, he is off. I think this was an issue of him going over the outside curbs. Oh, he just had an oversteer moment and then couldn't save it. Oh, and he hits that wall too. So that will bring him in really close to the drivers behind. Mac Morgan, while that was happening, got passed by Penkovic. I wish I'd seen what happened. I think Mac Morgan had an issue, but I could be wrong. But yeah, Mac Morgan passed by Penkovic, and he is now into P6. Still with a chance to fight back, as he is right behind him. And then right behind those two, Artie Thompson and Corey Colt are fighting. So we have a very nice couple last laps to see these battles. Corey Colt really close behind R.D. Thompson, but not able to do anything. Meanwhile, back here, Sebastian Rock is getting passed by Moreno, with a very close battle here between Moreno, Rock, and Swift. And then right behind them, I believe that's a blue flagger in that British Ferrari. So he's not an issue yet, is what I'll say. Jay Queasy saying that Morgan did the same as Heisner, so they both had oversteer issues coming through turn 11. So very unfortunate there. But these tires are probably getting the end of their life, so not all that unexpected, especially with how close of a battle that these guys have been in. I'm a little bit further back. Corey Mummery is right on the trumpet. Koval. I don't know if he'll be close enough for a pass here on the main straight. I don't think he will be, especially with that Porsche short-term acceleration as he goes over the curbs just a little bit. And we are now at 2 minutes to go. 2 minutes. Count them 2. Well, minute 50, but who's counting? Anyhow. So yeah, really close there into the braking zone, but not able to do anything. Mac Morgan still trying to get past Penkovic. It's going to be really hard to get him on acceleration, but it's easier for him to get him than the Lexus will be, I think. At least that's what I'm going to think he is. I could be wrong on that, but that's what I think. I can hope, anyways. But yeah, so not close enough to do a move there. He will maybe have one more lap to go around, but we're going to go ahead and look here at Hunter Gale as he begins our final lap of this race. Ty Johnson, you can see there in the picture, 2.7 seconds back behind him. So unless Hunter Gale really has an issue here through this last lap, he should be set. But I'm not going to watch him. Meanwhile, both Sebastian Rock and Swift go wide there, go deep into turn 12. So Sebastian Rock is now really doesn't have a chance to overtake Moreno. So it's now just a fight between these two for P13. Mac Morgan now crossing the line to start his final lap, fighting Penkovic. They are now both around 0.8 seconds apart. Mac Morgan not getting into the slipstream. Maybe he thinks he's too far back to really get any benefit, but we'll have to see. Meanwhile, Brad Garman is going against Heisner. They were about a second away from each other. Now they're about a second and a half back from each other. So very close here for these final battles. We could see a last lap pass for some of these. Meanwhile, Corey Mummery right again behind Koval, not close enough to make an overtake into that corner, but maybe soon. Swift here right behind Rock again for this last lap of the race. Really close there into the turn 1. It will all depend on how well he takes these S's, and the Mercedes really does not handle well around these corners. I don't know entirely bad. I just remember it being very hard to drive around Barcelona whenever I was driving it. And there's a couple other battles behind, but I'm going to watch as Brad Garman tries to take on Mike Heisner. Still not close enough to really do anything, unfortunately, so I don't know if he'll be able to do anything. So instead, we're going to go ahead and watch Hunter Gale as he crosses the line to take win number 2? No, win number 1. Mike Heisner was win number 2. So an amazing job there for a P1 finish. Sean Paul had a yellow flag moment. I'm not going to show that, though. Johnston with a wonderful P2 finish. Heisner now coming through the final 2 corners will come home in a very nice P3, setting himself really nice up for this championship run here tonight, with Brad Garman right behind him for P4, and then Penkovic right behind him for P5, and then we have Mac Morgan for P6, and right behind him is R.D. Thompson for P7. Almost got him there at the end. And then we have Corey Colt Ferrer. Right behind him is Lang. Then we have Cryer. Then we have Moreno. And then we have a really last lap battle here between Sebastian Rock and Swift. Swift not able to get there to make a final lap pass, but he did a very nice job to at least get close. P15, we have Jacobs. Behind him, we have Sean Paul. And then here, another almost last lap pass. We had Koval and Mummery fighting it out for P17. And then we have another close battle here for P19 again between Hernandez and Giovignoli. And then we have Andrew Dwangbanglio, Zygmunt, Beckstead here, about to go through in P23. Josh Parker in P24, Shane Lewis P25, Jackson in P26. Then I'm not sure what Mech's. I'm not sure if Mech is. I'm not sure what's happening here, but that is our finishing order. So an amazing job here by our top 3 finishers of Hunter, Johnston, and Heisner. I will be pulling them here into the commentary booth shortly. But either way, that was an amazing race to watch. Amazing job to our top 3 drivers. I'm going to take a screenshot so that I don't forget who I need to interview. But amazing race finish by these drivers. Really nice overall. And if you give me just a second, I will be bringing in our drivers for interviews. Because we all love interviews, right? All right. So we're going to bring in our P3 driver first, I think. Because why not? Mike Heisner, welcome to the booth. I'm doing good. It's just me tonight, unfortunately. But we had a very nice job watching your race. A little crazy at the first start there, but you did an amazing job to get that P3. Yeah. Give me just a second. I don't think I have Discord added in properly.
Problem?
Okay, go ahead and talk now.
Can you hear me?
Ah, there we go. Now I can hear you. So apologies for that, but go ahead and repeat what you said.
I mean, it was just I just drove a clean race. I got caught up with those Lexuses in the first stint, and eventually just went ahead and pit early to get away from them, which worked. And I needed Morgan to have a drive-through to get on the podium. They were well ahead of me. I couldn't catch up with them. I lost a lot of time when I was behind the Lexuses.
Yeah. Speaking of lost time, I think it was like the second to last lap or so, you had an oversteer moment through turn 11.
Yeah, I got it into the grass and managed to get it straightened out and held off Garmin somehow.
Yeah.
So, brown pants moment.
Yeah, amazing job though overall for the race. You got the win last week, correct? Am I misremembering that?
Did.
Yeah. So
yeah, I did.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
Okay,
so,
yeah.
Second podium.
Yeah, so very nice. Yeah, so win last week, P3 this week. You're setting yourself good for the championship as long as you don't get promoted. Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, my pace is D4. That guy, Hunter Gale, man, he's quick. He needs to go away.
Yeah, he was 7/10 clear in qualifying of anyone else.
Yeah, he was really quick in quali, and I had a decent quali, but not fantastic.
Yeah.
My goal is always to start top 10, stay out of the garbage. I don't even know what happened behind me, but it was a fun race. I was behind. I was alone the second stint.
Yeah.
So until I went off and had my moment.
Yeah. So anyway.
So
yeah.
Thank you for being alone tonight. I'll have to check it out in a bit.
Yeah, we had fun up here. The first attempt at starting the race was very hectic. both for you guys on the grid and up here. I honestly had no idea what I was looking at, because Hunter Gale was like 10 car lengths ahead at the start, but
we never got into the formation.
yeah,
So we were coming around, and it was just keeping us single file
interesting.
onto the main straight, and
Okay,
who knows?
well,
I don't know what happened, but yeah, that was a cluster. So I thought it was going to happen the second time around, but finally at the second to last corner they put us in formation.
yeah. So thankfully we got we redid the race start, and we actually got a race going. So very happy that
Yep,
that all
it worked.
happened. Yeah. Any
Yes, it was fun.
last question I think I have for you? Is there anyone that you would like to give a shout out to?
Just the guys ahead. Just the guys ahead. Good race. They did a good one.
All right. Well, again,
All right.
this was Mike Heisner with an amazing P3 finish, and I believe, I'm not going to say it for sure, but I know he's top 1 or 2 in the championship so far. So really hoping to see you up again here next week. But if you get promoted eventually, good luck in D3.
I'm hoping I don't.
All right. Have a good night.
Thanks so much.
All right. So again, that was Mike Heisner. Now, if I can find, is it Ty Johnston or Taylor Johnston? It's Taylor Johnston, all right. I will pull him up into the booth. Taylor Johnston, welcome to the booth.
Hello.
Amazing P2 finish there. Again, you, Mac, and I think this time it was Hunter Gale were way out in front of the field, and you got the P2 finish. So go ahead and talk us through the race.
Yeah, early I just cared about tire management. I knew Deg was going to be terrible here, so I figured I'd try and go as long as I could on the first stint to try to maximize my second stint tires. It seemed to be working out. I was looking for a good fight with Mac at the end there, but unfortunately he had a drive-through, so it kind of just waved me by.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we saw the start of that battle and saw you pulling out to just behind Mac whenever you were going through the pit cycle, but you caught up to him pretty quick there.
Yeah, like I said, I was trying to do better on that second stint with better tires, figuring later fuel, they would be a little bit more hot lapping for me, and it worked. I mean, I pulled out a really good lap in there, and I was starting to get close to 100 at the end, but I couldn't do it. Blue flags got in the way. I mean, that's racing. It's all good.
Yeah.
He earned that win.
Yep. Yeah, he was way out ahead of the field in qualifying, but yeah, you did an amazing job to get that P2 finish. You were 27 seconds ahead of the next guy behind you, so you were I don't know about quali pace, but in race pace you were definitely pretty close to Hunter, so amazing job there.
Thanks. I was just trying to, be consistent. I think I actually was. I think most of my laps were all the same time, so that's all I shoot for, is just try to, hit the same corner every time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a great job doing it. Last question I have for you: is there anyone that you would like to give a shout out to?
I guess just the SRA guys this week. Keep doing what you're doing. It's been awesome. I've been thoroughly enjoyed my time here so far.
All right. Well, glad to have you here. Hope to see you up here again next week. But I will go ahead and send you back down to do your driver briefing or review.
Right. The recap. All right. Thank you. You have a good night.
You too. All right. So that was Taylor Johnston with a P2 and fastest lap finish. And now I'm going to pull up our winner, if I can find him in Hunter Gale. There he is. Hunter Gale, welcome to the booth.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Oh, it's going great up here in the booth. Chaotic race start. We had to redo the race start, actually. But you did an amazing job in qualifying, being 7/10 faster than anyone else. And you pulled out the race win, so go ahead and tell us how it all went.
Oh, it was electric. I mean, my heart was racing the whole time. Last week, I was really nervous during qualifying and just couldn't put together what my true pace was. And I set a really concrete goal this week to qualify within 5/10 of my best lap, and I think I got within a 10th or two, and just felt really electric in qualifying. And then the first race start was so crazy, I had no idea what was going on. I was like 100, 200 meters ahead of everyone else at the start, and then the server all disconnected. But yeah, and then the second race start, Mac got me in turn one, but I figured I would just keep the pressure on him and see if he made a mistake. He held it together for the first half of the race, and then I thought I would try the undercut, and it worked out really, really well. I was able to just edge it out on him, and then just had to keep up the pace the rest of the race. But I was full pushing. I was not managing my pace or anything. I was right on the edge of my seat, and in the Porsche, like, the rear tires just go out so quickly. So I was trying to manage that too. But yeah, overall, my first win. This is my second season ever in this league, and it's my first win, first podium, and I'm so stoked to be here.
We always love to see first wins here. I hope to have my first win someday, but first is always it's hopefully it's something you remember, because winning a race is always a lot of fun, especially when you had the pace that you did today. Mac, you won with the undercut again. I think Mac had another pit issue. You were you had 3 seconds less pit stop time than he did.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, either way, amazing strategy, and like I said, you were way out ahead of the field for a good chunk for qualifying, and right up there at the front for the entirety of the race. So amazing job.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. And then, last question that I have for you is there anyone that you would like to give a shout out to?
Oh, absolutely. I was talking to Dan Cran this week, and he was giving me some coaching, especially on the psychological aspect of qualifying. I think those pointers really came in handy. And then my teammate from last season, John Ansem, we always talk the week leading up to the race about our setups and strategies, and he's always a huge help. So huge shout out to him. Hope I'm racing again in a division with him soon, maybe next season or something. But yeah, overall, really great week too. I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. Thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you for the amazing racing and display that you put on. I bet you wish you would have had the first race start being 20 car lengths ahead of everyone else, but either way, you got the win, so amazing job.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
All right, I will send you back down to your racing review. And there he goes. That was our winner, Hunter Gale. An amazing job by him to get that race win. But yeah, so that was Circuit of the Americas. Very nice job there by these drivers. A lot cleaner than I think some of us expected. I know that in other divisions there were some issues there at the beginning, but we only had the one incident that I can remember anyways through the starting S's. So, love to see it. But next week, make sure to come back here for Valencia. It's going to be a lot different track than Silverstone or Cota. It's very much a flow track with really only 1 or 2 overtaking zones. So kind of similar in that Dakota, but it'll be a different experience than the last 2. And it should be a little bit cooler. So hopefully not as much tire degradation concerns. Or maybe you like that. I don't know. Yeah, either way, make sure you come back here next week on Wednesday to watch D4 again. You can also watch D2 on YouTube or Twitch on Wednesdays. Or if you want to watch me and SigSVG racing in D3, you can come watch us. There's also D5 and D1 on Tuesdays. D3 and 5 are on YouTube, and then D1 is on Twitch and YouTube. And then if you really like this stream, or you like any of the streams that you watch here at the Sim Racing Alliance, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. A like really helps the channel, and we want to spread our wings so we can get more racers here. But yeah, so as far as I know, that is it. I am Trey Morgan. I was supposed to be joined by SigSVG, but things happen. But yeah, it's been a great night racing. Great night with all you all here, and I will see you all next time. Good night.